Yo, what's up regulators? What's going on? I've had a couple busy few past months just doing what I do, mobile repairs, getting stuff done for people, and just keeping on top of all the paperwork as you have to, doing business stuff. But it's been real busy. Got an apprentice now and it's going all right. We'll just see what happens. But at the moment, the workhorse, the one that just does not stop, needs some brakes so that it kind of does stop, which would be good. And I thought I'd make a video on it today. Yep, here she is. 3.8 tons of 3 litre 4x4 Isuzu performance right here. Should be a pretty straightforward brake shoe and drum job with a handbrake adjustment included, because I've played with the cable before when I was a rookie. Should be a pretty straightforward job, but it always seems to find something to throw a spanner in the works whenever I touch anything. We'll see how we go. Got a bit of an update on Big Red here. Besides a flat tyre, the diff's in, limited slip, does mad julies on the back now. The only dilemma is it overheats, which it always has. So I've got a new radiator ordered, aluminium 3-core I believe, so yeah, it should be keeping cool in the summer. Now I'm half tempted to throw it on the stands, but I think I'll just do it old school and keep it simple and drive it over into this shed and jack it up and put it on stands and just do it on the floor. I'm gonna have to take the tools off the back of that ute because my jack doesn't lift it with the boxes on the back because it's that heavy. Anyway, let's get to it. This setup I use pretty cool to get off. There's just these 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts on each side, which I get with this rattle gun, and then just got to get it with the forklift. Alright, these are the shoes and drums that I got from Peps in Narellan. One good thing about those guys is it seems like whenever there's something I want, they give me the right one. So I don't have to go to the shop, come back, open it up, and not be able to finish the job and have to drive back out again to get the right stuff. So we'll see if that happens today. First of all, check out the mess in this poor ute. Second, because I'm going to be playing with this handbrake adjustment, which usually you don't have to touch, but I've messed with it, so I was going to be mucked around with. I want to fix it. There's 2 clips on either side there, one either side. You undo this little screw from here. Very important you don't push too hard on the screwdriver, or you'll just sort of strip it out. So you just got to lightly turn. And there's 2 screws in there, which I've undone. And screwdriver in here, pop that up and unplug that piece, and this will separate as well. And once you separate that, then this whole unit is free to come out and move. Actually, there's another screw right here. Okay, so I didn't realize that there's this piece here goes along to the other side, so you can't get it out unless you pull the gear stick off or get the boot off here. I don't think it's really going to happen actually. Usually I just pull the stick off, but in this instance mine's a bit more of work. But I have full access to the handbrake right now, so I'm just going to make it work from there. And this is the cable adjustment right here, and this can come back. Yep, so now I'll just move on to the actual brake job. Alright, so we've got the standard procedure here. Wheels chocked, handbrake released, jacked up, tyre removed, put on stands, and now we proceed to keep moving forward from this point. So first up, these have this retaining sort of screw here to keep the drum in place a little bit. So I use an impact spanner because they usually get pretty rusty, and now usually you'll have to back the brakes off. We'll see how lucky I get because I haven't adjusted mine in a while. Straight off. So Okay, it's a lot easier to show how to back the brakes off with the drum removed. So usually you have the drum on. To back them off, you have to come through this side and stick this pick through here, and you need to spin this gear right here to adjust this gear right here. But to spin it the opposite way to back it off, you need to also pull this lever back, this spring-loaded bar. So you need to use one thing to push it back and another to counter-rotate the gear to bring these two shoes closer together to let the drum come off. Okay, so first I think I'll disconnect the handbrake cable. So try to see if I can wedge this back. Maybe use the multi-grips. Okay, so this is part of the handbrake cable, and I'll see how I go leaving it here. I think I can just leave it in this position. Next up, I'll go for the basically this piece here just stops the brake from being able to back themselves off, so I'll remove the spring for that. Okay, so that's the spring removed, and there's a little clip on this piece right here. So keep these together. It's probably not a good idea. I'm going to put it all on a rag. So here I've got the spring for this and the clip for that. They're chilling together, and the screw for the drum. Okay, so now I'm going to rip on this spring right here and try to unhook it. I think I'll put my knee here. That's perfect. Now you can remove these clips. So just get my pliers, push in and twist it with my hand from behind, and that's it. Keep these on the rag, and be careful of these because they can fall out, so just keep your eyes on them. Actually, this one did fall out. And that little spring down the bottom. Okay, so that's one removed, and it has a handbrake attached, handbrake linkage pit. Moving on here, same deal. Boom. So basically when you had the shoes on, you could see this is what they call the wheel cylinder. So when you pump the brakes, you open these up, and when you have the drum on, the drum will be spinning with your tires and the shoes are sitting still. When you pump these up, you spread the shoes out to contact the drum, and that makes a lot of heat, which is what slows you down. And yeah, that's why these wear out. And you can see here it was metal on metal. It was screeching. That's why I just waited, because I always just replace the drums at the same time. I think I had a bit of weird brake adjustment going on, because the other shoe looks alright and the one that wore out a bit uneven. But as well as that, it does have a lot of weight on it, and I'm pretty rough on it, so I'm not that phased. Also, you can see this massive primary and secondary fuel tank, plus these huge springs, massive secondary battery, and that's plus all the tools. Anyway, now we move on to the new shoes. Alright, so I've got a sample shoe here. We've got the little dowel there, same here, hole right next to it. Up here, got a little notch there, part for the cylinder, bit for the little spring, perfect, looks great. Move over here, got the drum with the dowel for the screw, looks good. We'll see how they fit up. Okay, with these two, you have the little pin and horseshoe deal. So I'll get a hammer on the case and see if I can pop that off. I'll just transfer it. Ready to go. Beautiful, that's what you want. Okay, so now these are ready to go. We'll just chuck them up and basically put everything back together in reverse order of how we pulled it off. Alright, so hold this pin, hang it up, get the first spring. Alright, perfect. Okay, that's how you want it. Next, this spring was next that I pulled off. Okay, that's in. Now I'm going to get this and wind it all the way in. And depending on what side you are, it will have the opposite thread, so make sure you pick the right one. It's not a bad idea to undo it and put some anti-seize or lubrication inside. She looks like I'm unwinding it anyway. I'll go get some. Alright, so I'm unwinding it here. Out it is. I'll just brake clean it down. Brake clean here. Let it dry a bit. A little bit of anti-seize on it. And screw it back in. And the more further you go in, the more easier it is to. And don't tighten it, just go leave it real loose. Fit this piece back on. Now if you pull too hard on this shoe, you'll drag this back and potentially pop the cylinder out and leak all the oil, and you'll have to bleed your brakes. If you do, just make sure you have your brake fluid to the max and undo the bleed screw once you put it all back together, and just let it gravity bleed out till you have a solid flow of brake fluid coming out. Or just bleed it the other normal way as well with a mate. Okay, so now just make sure this is lined up in position. Looks like I did this on backwards. Alright, that spring's hooked in that side. Now I just got to pull and get this one locked in. And that's it. Alright, ready to be adjusted like in that regard, but we've still got a few things to put on. Okay, I got to modify this a bit and just sort of squash it up. It wouldn't be a bad idea to replace all this hardware as you go, I reckon. I do have spare because I work on a lot of Dmaxes, but I only do it when I have to. It's more in case they go missing. That's not what you want. Oh, that clipped in real nice. Okay, make sure that's home. And for the spring. Alright, fantastic. All that's left is the handbrake. And this can be a bit hard sometimes. What would help is if you backed off the cable a lot. in the cab, which I had exposed there with the 10mm nut. But I grab with the pliers here, do a motion like that, pull the spring back, and try to hook it in. Alright, that is in. Okay, I might give it a squeeze. That'll make sure it's never coming out. And that's back. So you want to give this this surface a rub as well as these shoes with brake cleaner, just to make sure that that they're clean first of all, and second of all, so if there's any form of rust protection oil that's on top of it, it will not lubricate the brakes or keep them dry, ready to go. So now with the Isuzus, there's a screw right here. And also, sometimes you have this problem here where this is a bit like that. The other side is shifted up and the other side's down. Basically what we got is, it's a bit like that. So it doesn't want to go on. You can see up here where that should look a little bit more like that. Slide it straight on. Bit of anti-seize on this annoying screw. And that's it, don't have to go over tight. Then you should be able to rotate it. And that's it. Might give it an adjustment. So we'll get the screwdriver. From in this port, you can hear it click. And this is me bringing the shoe closer to the drum. So technically you do this till it gets hard, and then you need to push that tab back and back it off a little bit till the drum's loose again. But I reckon after you get it hard the first time, you should just press your foot down to let the shoes even out a bit, and it might come loose again, especially with the new set. Okay, so this side's done now and they're both adjusted so that when you spin them, you can just barely hear the brake drum dragging on, or the shoe dragging on the drum, or the other way around. So now I come back in here, because I did back this off a lot, and now I have all this free play here. So this is loose as. So I'll get my spanner and tighten it up. Get the torch going. You'll know if you've done it too tight, because as you over tighten this, you'll pull on the shoe from in your brakes, and if you tighten this too tight, you can check to see if you've done too much by checking to see if the wheel locked up at the back. Okay, so that's just got the grab on it now. Go a little bit more. And that's it. So now I can reassemble all this stuff here and take it for a test drive, and maybe after the first run give it a readjustment. All right, wheels on, stands out, jack down, kick the chocks out after the handbrake's up, and it's ready for a drive. But there's just a quick check that you can do to make sure that you got the handbrake right. So basically, first of all, you can use your foot to check your adjustment. Should bottom out pretty early after you run out of vacuum, and it shouldn't hit the floor, that's for sure. And that's nice and tight. Then you come here, drop down all the way, and just feel how far it comes up first of all before it gets tight, and second of all, just how much free play it is. So that's how much I got, which is basically what you want. That's just me taking the slack up, making the shoes hit the drum, and that's basically the stretch. Or actually, you know, I'm also, this is what I can feel me pulling the cable before I start fighting the springs back at the wheels. So that's that. Now I've taken the slack out of the cable, and now I'm just fighting the springs, pulling the shoes up against the drums, and that's where it lets go. So you want that between 7 to 9 clicks as per the book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know, so that's all right. And after I take it for a run and adjust the brakes, I might be able to get it even tighter. Make sure the pedal doesn't go all the way down. Feels nice. Sure it stops. Give it a mad brake. Hit up pretty good. I can already tell already though that I'm gonna need to freshen up the adjustment, because the handbrake, all of a sudden from going to not so many clicks, it's already going up like 10 clicks, which is kind of normal, because once you use the brakes a few times, the shoes will find their real home, and yeah, they'll be a bit further away from the drums. All right, so brought it in the shed and got it nipped up a bit more. The brakes actually nipped up a lot, which makes a bit of sense. So now we got it at where it's at. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can get 7 if you pull real hard on it, but that's neat as. And now the brakes are a lot more sharper at the pedal too. Awesome. Take it for another drive. All right, took it for the second test drive. Braked awesome, and the handbrake still has a good adjustment to it when I park up. But you know, after a week I might give it another adjustment, and that should settle it. Anyways, I hope it was helpful, and catch you later.